Hi, this is Anil and welcome to the video tutorial for the Learning Lad on C++ programming. So in the previous tutorial we have learned how to explicitly overload the generic function with the normal functions, or we have learned the explicit specialization on the generic functions. So in this tutorial I'm going to teach you how to overload the generic function by overloading the template specification itself. So if it is confusing, don't worry, when we see the example it's going to be clear. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a generic function, and then we're going to overload that generic function with another generic function. The only thing that is going to differ is the number of parameters both the generic function with the same name is going to take. Alright, first we need to write the keyword template, and then less than and greater than symbol, and between that we need to write the keyword type name or class. I'm going to write type name, and then we need to give a name for the generic type, and let's say T, and then we need to write the return type, let's say void, and then the function name, let's say what you got, and then the parameters that are going to be taken by this generic function. Let's say our what you got function is going to take only one parameter here, let's say x, and in this body we're going to write generic function with one parameter, and then I'm just gonna end this line, and then I'm gonna use another cout, and I'm just gonna say I got x equal to, and then I'm gonna refer x, and I'm gonna end this line. Alright, now we have defined a generic function. The next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna write another generic function with the same name, what you got, and we're gonna make it to differ in the number of parameter it's gonna take. So I'm gonna write template, and then the less than and greater than symbol, and between that I'm gonna write type name, and it's gonna work on two generic types. So let's say first one is gonna be T1, and the next one is gonna be T2. Alright, then we need to write the function name and the function body. So what I can do is I can copy this from here, and I can paste it here, and we're just gonna make it to take two parameter. So it's gonna be T1x and T2y, and here I'm gonna change this one to 2 parameter, and I got x equal to x. I can copy this and I can paste it in the next line, and I'm gonna change this one to y, and here also we need to change this one to y. So now we have defined two generic functions with the same name, and they are gonna take different number of parameters. Alright, the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna do the function prototyping. So I'm gonna copy this, and before my main function I'm gonna paste it, and I'm gonna copy the second one, and I'm gonna paste it here and add the semicolon. Alright, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this what you got function in our program. So I'm gonna use it. It's gonna be what you got, and then we need to pass the parameter. We can pass one parameter or two parameters, and also we can pass any type of parameter, because it's a generic function and it is taking the generic type of data. Alright, I'm just gonna pass 55, an integer value, and then I'm gonna call this function again what you got, and this time I'm gonna pass a string value Anil. Then I'm gonna call it again what you got, and this time I can pass 55.68, a floating point value, and then I'm gonna call it again, and I'm just gonna pass two parameters, let's say 55 comma 33.59, any type of data, and then I'm gonna call it again for one more time, and I'm just gonna pass two string values Anil, and I'm gonna pass Anjali, and I'm gonna add the semicolon here. Alright, now I'm just gonna build and run this. Alright, we got the error, and that's because I have misspelled it. It should be type name, and here also don't make any silly mistakes like this, and I'm gonna build and run it again, And now you guys can see, in this first call it says generic function with one parameter and I got 55. Then generic function with one parameter, I got Anil. Generic function with one parameter, I got 55.68. And then the generic function with two parameter, I got 55 and I got 33.59. And it says generic function with two parameter, I got Anil and I got Anjali. So here what we have done is we have defined two generic function and they are having the same name, what you got, and they are taking the parameters which are of generic types. Alright. And I have explained you how to create the generic function with the same name, and by using a standard parameter. So we can have a generic function what you got with this parameter, and we can have another function what you got with only one parameter and it is taking a integer type. At that time that integer version is gonna override the generic function, and I have explained in the previous tutorial, I think. So this is it, guys. This is how you guys can overload the generic function template in C++. Thank you for watching and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.